5 News at Noon starts now.
A push for peace at the White House. President Trump works with Ukraine's president and European leaders to map out the next steps toward ending the war in Russia. Plus, the Washington County Fair starts today. 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi shows us how a long-held community tradition is shaping up this year. Thank you for joining us for your 5 News at Noon. I'm Morgan Wrigley. My mic just fell off during that, so excuse me while I'm holding it on here. I'm joined here by Danny, though.
Hello.
I'll let you just take it away so I can get this figured out.
I was going to say, yeah, let's get right on to weather so Morgan can get fixed up here. But just like a pro, just like the goat she is, she just continues to move on. The show must go on. It's like nothing ever happened. Take a look outside here in Poto in eastern Oklahoma. Yeah, it's just hot. 97 degrees. That feels like of 103. Dew point is 70. You're noticing a little bit of those towering cumulus in the background. Again, they're starting to build a little bit, and we're starting to see over the next couple of hours. Eventually, we'll see those clouds turn into some thunderstorms. But right now, it is hot out there. You can see 112 in Ozark and Clarksville. You can see 103 in Eureka Springs. Bentonville, I guess, is the lucky one, only at 98. Otherwise, we're in the triple digits area wide. For Northwest Arkansas, it is not going to get to 120. That would be very, very record-breaking. It is not going to get to 120. I'm not sure how that would get up that high, but it is going to be pretty warm out there in Northwest Arkansas. Could get up to 106 for the River Valley. I'm scared to see this one. Okay, now this lines up. Could be about 112 to 113. You already saw it there, but it is going to drop, and eventually we are going to see those storms start to bubble up. We're already seeing a couple here. You see bubbling up in Carroll County, so we'll continue to see more form over the little bit here. We'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast. Morgan.
Thanks, Danny. Well, from mouth-watering food to thrilling rides and farm animals, the Washington County Fair is officially underway in Fayetteville today. 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi takes us inside the livestock arena with a look at what families can expect this year.
Tradition since 1857, the Washington County Fair is back in Fayetteville, which is something for the entire family to enjoy. The Washington County Fair is the largest and oldest county fair in Arkansas. It celebrates generations of farmers, volunteers, and youth who have helped build its legacy. The fair also gives 4-H and FFA members a platform to showcase livestock, horticulture, art, and more. Its mission? To promote agriculture while helping develop future leaders in a safe, competitive environment. I spoke with one woman, Doris Cassidy, who's been involved with the fair for over 50 years. She says it's a joy to see it continue to grow every year.
You see it grow every year. For instance, we have 158 meat goats this year. We have more meat goats than we have stalls for them. So that's a good problem, but it's also a bad problem because you need to figure out what you're going to do with that. But I think the agriculture in Northwest Arkansas is on the rise, and you just see that it grow. And of course, you know, anything that's successful improves each year.
Well, here's how Fair Week shapes up. Tuesday kicks off with $2 for entry and $2 for rides from 5 to 10 p.m. Wednesday is free admission for students until 3 p.m. Thursday is free entry for seniors until 5 p.m. and Friday features rides until 2 a.m. Livestock like Hui here, who is part of the premium auction, can be viewed by the public. The fair goes until Saturday. In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
Thanks, Jacob. And the Sebastian County Fair also happening this week. Today is Dollar Night, meaning admission costs $1 there and rides cost $2. Gates at the Sebastian County Fair open at 5 p.m. at the fairgrounds in Greenwood. You can also catch live music every night through Saturday. Well, President Trump hosted Ukraine's president and several European leaders at the White House Monday for talks about how to end the war with Russia, and came out of it with next steps toward what the president hopes is eventual peace. Aaron Navarro has more details from the White House.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said after talks with President Trump at the White House on Monday, the next meeting should include Russian President Vladimir Putin.
No, we don't have any date.
No date.
We don't have any date. We just confirmed after this productive meeting with the President and then with all our colleagues, partners, who confirmed that we are ready for a trilateral meeting.
Trump, Zelensky, and European leaders met at the White House for more than 5 hours. While they were there, Trump stepped out to have his own 40-minute call with Putin. Trump was captured on a hot microphone telling French President Emmanuel Macron that Putin is ready to make a deal.
I think he wants to make a deal for me. You understand? I think as crazy as it sounds.
The outlines of a possible deal are beginning to take shape, but there is still a lot of work to be done.
And I have a feeling you and President Putin are going to work something out.
President Trump has promised the U.S. will work with European allies to provide security guarantees to protect Ukraine from future Russian invasions. Though Secretary of State Marco Rubio says those guarantees come with a price.
Each side is going to have to make some concessions. And obviously land, or where you draw those lines, where the war stops, is going to be part of that conversation. And it's not easy, and maybe it's not even fair, but it's what it takes in order to bring about an end to a war.
Willingly giving up land will be a tough sell in Ukraine, but President Trump says Zelensky needs to be flexible in the negotiations. Aaron Navarro, CBS News, the White House.
The Kremlin says talks need to be thoroughly vetted before they happen, warning they shouldn't just be a publicity stunt. If the peace talks do happen, they would be Putin and Zelensky's first face-to-face meeting since 2019, more than 2 years before Russia's invasion. The 2024 presidential election saw nearly 30% of ballots cast by mail. Here in Arkansas, that number sits at just 1%. But Secretary of State Cole Jester has warned before it could put election security at risk. On Monday, President Trump reinforced that concern.
To end mail-in voting, it's a fraud. If you have mail-in vote, even Jimmy Carter with this commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it, because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected.
He's ordered investigations into Democratic fundraising platforms, is now pressing states to redraw congressional maps. Moves, he says, will help Republicans hold on to their majority in the House of Representatives. And in Texas, House Democrats returned to the Capitol Monday after leaving the state for a few weeks in an effort to stall a Republican-led effort to redraw those voting district lines. Soon after the Democrats returned, Republican lawmakers modified a proposed map that was already friendly to the GOP to make it even more favorable to Republicans. And President Trump is urging Texas Republicans to pass that new map by the end of the month. Well, people are evacuating along parts of the East Coast as Hurricane Erin pushes north, bringing dangerous surf from Florida to Canada. Hurricane Erin is not expected to make landfall, but it's already causing concern. The storm swept through the Caribbean Monday and is now moving between Bermuda and the U.S. coast. Evacuations are underway in parts of North Carolina. Forecasters say dangerous surf and rip currents are likely up and down the East Coast.
This is going to make for very dangerous marine conditions across all of the western Atlantic and increase the risk for dangerous and life-threatening surf and rip current conditions across almost the entire U.S. East Coast.
And with coastal flooding expected in places like Miami Beach through Thursday, officials are urging beachgoers to stay alert and out of the water, even as the storm stays offshore. Well, a tentative agreement has been reached in the Air Canada flight attendant strike. Flight cancellations have been snarling plans for hundreds of thousands of travelers. Tom Hansen reports from New York's LaGuardia Airport.
Air Canada flights are set to take to the skies again following a 3-day strike that crippled operations. 10,000 flight attendants walked off the job early Saturday after months of failed negotiations over higher wages.
All of us have been affected by this. We can't use food banks. We can't be sleeping in our cars anymore.
The union representing the striking flight attendants says it worked overnight with the airlines and a mediator in order to reach a tentative deal, saying in part, unpaid work is over. We have reclaimed our voice and our power. It includes compensation for work done between flights, such as boarding and deplaning, which until now was unpaid.
It's important that they're compensated equitably at all times, fairly at all times. That's the reason why there have been negotiations.
Air Canada says the strike disrupted travel plans for tens of thousands of passengers per day. Hundreds of flights that were canceled typically fly into and out of LaGuardia Airport here in New York City. While Air Canada has not commented on the agreement, it issued a statement saying the suspension of our services is extremely difficult for our customers, adding that they deeply regret and apologize for the impact on them. The airline says it could take 7 to 10 days to fully return to regular service, meaning flyers should still expect some cancellations. Tom Hansen, CBS News, New York.
Air Canada also says customers can now rebook flights with confidence since during the ratification process, a strike or lockout is not possible. Well, the city of Highville and Northwest Arkansas National Airport have reached an agreement on the airport's detachment from the city. This comes after nearly a year of legal battles and negotiation. The new memorandum of understanding says Highville will continue collecting its 2% sales tax at the airport through December 31st, 2030. Those funds, about $1 million a year, will go toward paying off the city's 2018 and 2021 water and sewer bonds. Starting this October, Haifa will make monthly escrow payments of about $72,000 until those bonds are fully repaid.
This deal allows us to run our city and grow our city. Well, as long as we do our jobs as elected officials and we don't get greedy and we don't over budget stuff, as long as we know that date's coming up and we keep our budget, we should be just fine.
XNA leaders say the agreement not only clears up uncertainty for the city, but also allows the airport to move forward. Both sides still have to finalize the former agreed order in court, and after that, the airport detachment will be official. All lawsuits between the city and the airport will be dismissed. Haifa will keep the tax revenue until the very end of 2030. Well, for the first time since last month's double murder at Devil's Den State Park, trails there are beginning to reopen. Now, these two trails are still closed. That includes the main Devil's Den Trail, where police say the murders happened, and the Butterfield Trail is also still closed. That one's from storm damage earlier this year. The reopening of the park's trails comes less than a week after the Springdale man arrested for the double murder made his first court appearance. Andrew McGann is charged with 2 counts of capital murder and has pleaded not guilty. Police have not shared any possible motive for the crime. But investigators say McGann killed Clinton and Kristen Brink while they were hiking with their daughters. Neither of the girls were physically hurt in the attack. The family had moved to Prairie Grove just a few weeks before this happened. Now the city plans to host a fundraiser September 6th to help support the Brink's daughters.